Welcome back, Seekers. It's me. Tonight we explore the timeless allure of the Pyramids of Giza, standing strong and silent after 4,500 years. What secrets do they hold? Let's find out. Tonight's journey begins under a blanket of stars over the Egyptian desert. The air is still, and the only sounds are the gentle breeze rustling through the dunes and the distant call of a lonely bird. The vast expanse of the night sky stretches above you, dotted with countless stars that have twinkled for millennia. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens like a river of light, its gentle glow bathing the desert in an ethereal luminescence. As you gaze upwards, mesmerized by the cosmic display, you feel a deep sense of tranquility wash over you. The weight of modern life seems to lift, and you are enveloped by the timeless embrace of the desert night. In the distance, on the horizon, you see them, the majestic Pyramids of Giza, standing guard over the desert sands. They seem almost otherworldly, like phantoms from a forgotten era. As you draw closer, their immensity becomes more apparent, their colossal forms rising tier upon tier towards the heavens. The setting sun bathes the pyramids in warm hues of orange and red, casting long shadows that dance and twists across the desert floor. Each step brings you closer to these silent sentinels of the past, and as you finally reach the foot of one of the pyramids, you can't help but feel a surge of awe and wonder. You stand here dwarfed by the sheer scale of this ancient structure, its rough-hewn stones, a testament to the tireless efforts of a bygone civilization. The wind whispers tales of generations past, echoing stories of pharaohs and their eternal resting places hidden within the pyramid's heart. Lost in contemplation, you trace the lines etched into the weathered stones, each groove and crevice whispering secrets of a time long gone. You wonder about the hands that once toiled here, the sweat that soaked their brows, and the dreams that danced in their eyes. The harsh desert sun beats down on your shoulders as you continue your ascent, but you are driven by an insatiable curiosity. The prospect of uncovering the mysteries held within the pyramid's embrace propels you forward. Wheat. Hutch step. The world around you fades away, replaced by the burning desire to unravel the enigma of these ancient wonders. You push on, determined to reach the summit and unveil the secrets that await. At last, after what seems like an eternity, you reach the top of the pyramid. Here, the wind whips around you, carrying with it the scent of sand and ancient mysteries. As far as you can see, the desert stretches endlessly, a golden ocean rippling in the distance. The Nile River appears as a shimmering thread, winding its way through the landscape, and you realize just how remote and untouched this place truly is. Standing at the pinnacle of the pyramid, you feel a profound sense of solitude wash over you. It's a feeling of being utterly disconnected from the hustle and bustle of modern life, allowing you to fully immerse yourself in the timeless. As you stand here, contemplating the vastness of the desert below and the mysteries held within the pyramid, you feel a deep connection to those who came before you, the pharaohs, kings and queens, whose eternal slumber may lie hidden beneath your feet. The very stones beneath you bear silent witness to the passage of time, having stood strong and steadfast for thousands of years. In this place of solitude and contemplation, you find a strange sense of comfort and grounding. It's as if the pyramid itself is sharing its ancient wisdom with you, inviting you to reflect on the mysteries of life, death, and the universe. You ponder the great civilizations that thrived here centuries ago, wondering about their beliefs, customs, and the secrets they held close. The silence is broken only by the wind whistling through the gaps in the stones and the distant cry of a bird soaring overhead. You listen intently, attuned to every sound, as if expecting the desert itself to reveal its secrets. But when you turn to leave, you hesitate. Something about this place, this moment in time, pulls at your heartstrings. You can't help but feel a sense of reluctance to depart, as if the pyramid is reluctant to let you go. Before you descended into the depths of the pyramid, eager to uncover its hidden mysteries. Now as you stand at the summit preparing to leave, a strange mix of emotions washes over you. A part of you wants to stay here in this timeless place, to bask in the solitude and connect with the ancient spirits that linger nearby. However, your thirst for adventure and discovery is too strong to ignore. The mysteries hidden within the pyramid beckon to you, promising revelations that will change your perspective forever. With a heavy heart, yet resolute in your determination, you begin your descent. The pull of the unknown is too enticing to resist, and you know that the true adventure lies ahead. And now, Seekers, our time together has come to an end. But before we part ways, I have a simple request. If you found solace and enjoyment in this journey, I invite you to show your support. Just take a moment to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to join us on more relaxing journeys into ancient mysteries. Your support means everything to us. Together, we can keep exploring the wonders of our past and unraveling the secrets that have been hidden for centuries. So join the growing community of seekers, and let's embark on many more adventures together. Thank you for joining me tonight on this journey to the Pyramids of Giza. May the ancient mysteries uncovered here leave you with a sense of wonder and curiosity about the world around us. As you drift off to sleep, I invite you to carry a piece of the desert magic with you. Let the immensity of the pyramids and the grandeur of the night sky fill your dreams. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars and keep seeking the answers that lie hidden in the sands of time. Sweet dreams, seekers. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed tonight's journey to the Pyramids of Giza. Don't forget to hit that like button if you liked it, and share it with others who might find it interesting too. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you never miss out on our exciting explorations of ancient mysteries. Your support really means a lot to us and helps us keep bringing these videos to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. We all seek answers. Some seek them in religion, others in science. Some find comfort in myths and legends, while others dismiss them as mere fantasy. But what if there's more to these ancient tales than meets the eye? Join us as we explore controversial theories that challenge conventional history and push the boundaries of human understanding. From forbidden archaeology to secret societies, we'll delve into the hidden corners of our past and uncover the truth behind the most debated mysteries of our time. Are you ready to question everything you know and discover the shocking realities that lie beneath the surface? Then subscribe and join the ranks of those who dare to seek the truth, no matter how unsettling it may be. Together, we'll embark on a thrilling journey to uncover the darkest secrets that have been buried for centuries. Do you want to be afraid to dive deep into the unknown? Because the answers we seek are out there waiting to be discovered. So are you brave enough to face the darkness and confront the forbidden knowledge that awaits? If so, subscribe and become a seeker of truth today. Remember, some secrets are best left buried, but the more we learn, the deeper the darkness grows. Be prepared to enter a world where nothing is sacred and everything is questioned. Are you ready to unlock the mysteries that have been hidden from plain sight? It's no secret that humans are capable of some truly remarkable things. But every so often we come across something so mind-bogglingly complex that we couldn't help but wonder if it was unbuilt by an advanced alien race, visiting from another planet. Ancient Egypt is perhaps the greatest example of this. And while many have tried to explain away the Great Pyramid as just another tomb for a really rich guy, there are still some serious, unanswered questions about how they actually pulled off such a monumental feat of engineering. So here are 5 ways the pyramids were supposedly built. Number 1, the ramps. You ever had to haul a bunch of stuff up a hill? It sucks. It's hot, it's tiring, and it feels like you're never making any progress. Now imagine having to do that hundreds or thousands of times over and over again for decades. You start to wonder if there might be some kind of machine that could do the job more efficiently. Well, turns out our ancestors already knew about that. In fact, modern archaeologists believe that the ancient Egyptians used something called an inclined plane or ramp to move large objects up high places. This would essentially be a flat surface set at an angle against a wall or other object, allowing someone hauling something to distribute the weight across a longer distance, rather than trying to lift it straight up. This would require a lot less effort, and could potentially be used to move objects weighing several tons at a time. But there's a problem. So far, no conclusive evidence of ramps has been found at any of the major pyramid sites. The idea itself dates back to the 17th century when it was proposed by a man named J.G., who drew up plans for what he thought the ramp system could look like based on his own experience building pyramids out of sugar cubes. Don't ask. His idea has since been expanded upon, including by renowned Egyptologist Dr. Mark Len, who believes that a series of ramps and levers could have been used in combination with brute force to move the stones into place. However, nobody has ever found any evidence of such a system in the archaeological record. Additionally, the whole thing seems a bit ad hoc. Ramps are simple. Machines and engineers have been using them for thousands of years because they work. So why wouldn't we have found some kind of evidence of their use? Then again, maybe the truth really is buried beneath all that sand. No. 2. The internal ramps. If you've seen any of the popular videos floating around YouTube about how the pyramids were built, chances are you've seen this theory about internal ramps, proposed by architect Joseph David Ovides. In the 1980s, this theory suggests that the pyramids were constructed using a technique known as opus pyramidum, a type of building method used throughout the Roman Empire and which consists of overlapping layers of small stones filled in with mortars. According to David Ovides, the Egyptians could have built internal ramps within the very structure of the pyramid itself, allowing them to gradually build up higher and higher until they reached the top. He believes that these ramps would have been dismantled as the pyramid was finished, leaving behind the perfectly smooth inner chambers that we see today. Sounds plausible enough, right? Well, sadly, it doesn't quite hold up to scrutiny. For one thing, we know that the Egyptians did not use mortar in their construction, believing that the stones should fit together without any help. We also know that the inner chambers of the pyramids are not smooth at all, but are in fact covered with precisely cut T-shaped stones that fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. Additionally, there are a number of other problems with this theory that have been pointed out by experts, such as the fact that it's not clear how the ramps would have been built in the first place, or how they would have been dismantled afterwards, not to mention the sheer volume of material that would have been required to build them in the first place. No. 3. The levers. Imagine you're trying to move a big rock. You push and shove, but it just won't budge. So you get some friends to help out and try again. Still nothing. But then you remember that your dad taught you about something called moments, and how to calculate the turning effect of a force applied to an object at a distance from a pivot point. Eureka! If you put enough force on the right spot, you can make even the biggest and heaviest rocks turn over. In fact, archaeologists have discovered stone tools that may have been used for this very purpose, suggesting that the Egyptians understood this simple physics principle well enough to put it to practical use. These tools, called levers, are basically just long sticks that you can place under heavy objects and use as a fulcrum to move them around. By applying enough force to the right spot, you can make even the largest and heaviest rocks turn over and slide into place. In fact, modern archaeologists have demonstrated that a team of workers could move a limestone block into position using nothing more than a lever. But there are some problems with this theory. First of all, there are only a few of these levers that have been found, so it's not clear if they were widely used or only kept as ceremonial objects. Additionally, the entire process of moving the stones into place using levers would have been extremely labor-intensive and time-consuming, requiring dozens of workers for each block and taking several weeks to complete. Even then, there would still be the problem of getting the blocks to the top of the pyramid in the first place. 4. The internal ramp levers. Maybe the best way to build a pyramid is to combine two simple machines, the lever and the ramp. Here's how it works. Start by building a ramp up one side of the pyramid and then attach a lever to the top, which will allow you to lift objects up higher than you could otherwise. By applying force to the long end of the lever, you can make the short end rise up, which will raise whatever you're trying to move on the ramp. This means that you need as much effort to move an object up the ramp, because the lever does most of the work for you. But this raises the question, why hasn't anyone found any evidence of this type of ramp lever system in the archaeological record? Well, one possible explanation is that they were made out of wood, which obviously hasn't survived the test of time. However, it is hard to imagine that a wooden lever would unleave some kind of mark on the stones or the soil. Additionally, if this method was used extensively, we should have found at least some traces of it by now, right? Or maybe we just haven't looked in the right places yet. No. 5. The water shadow. As you probably know, water is essential for human life. But did you know that it can also be used to move huge rocks into place? It's true. Archaeologists have found evidence that the ancient Egyptians used a device called a shaduf to move massive blocks of stone without the need for ramps or levers. A shaduf is basically a long pole that is balanced on a pivot point and used to scoop up water from one place and dump it somewhere else. It's pretty similar to a seesaw, except instead of kids on a playground, it's got buckets full of water attached to either end. But how exactly does this work? Well, To use a shadoof, one person would stand at the pivot point and balance the pole so that the bucket on one side would scoop up water from a river or lake. They would then walk the pole over to the other side and dump the water out, creating a current that would flow downhill. This process is essentially the same as what happens in a hydroelectric dam, except much smaller scale. The flowing water creates a force that can be used to move objects along a ramp or pathway, making it easier to transport heavy loads over long distances. There is some evidence that the Egyptians used this technique to transport limestone blocks from the nearby quarries to the Giza plateau where the pyramids were built. The blocks themselves weigh several tons each and were moved over a distance of several kilometers. The Egyptians could have easily used a shadoof to move the blocks along a canal or river, which would have been much easier than trying to drag them across land. At Etionaji, the ancient Egyptians kept canals and rivers free of obstacles, so that boats and other objects could travel along them smoothly. This would have made it easier to move the stones without having to worry about things like rocks or vegetation getting in the way. Plus, there have already been several experiments conducted by modern archaeologists and historians that have shown that a team of oxen could easily pull a full-size limestone block along a wet road or a track. Put all of this together and you've got yourself a pretty plausible theory about how the pyramids were built. After all, we know that the ancient Egyptians were experts at hydraulic engineering, and they had plenty of experience working with stone. It makes sense that they would have developed a technique like this to make their jobs easier. So there you have it. From ramps to levers, and even a giant water slide. There are plenty of theories about how the pyramids were built. The truth is, we may never know for sure how these monumental structures were erected all those years ago. But one thing is certain. It was a remarkable feat of engineering that continues to amaze us today. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more amazing discoveries and leave a comment below with your ideas for future videos. Until next time, keep on thinking. We've talked about the evidence that the pyramids were built as tombs for Egypt's pharaohs, and that there are several clues within the Great Pyramid pointing towards the Book of Revelation and the second coming of Jesus Christ. But we haven't yet discussed the most fascinating aspect of these monuments, which is their mathematical perfection. The precision with which they are built is truly mind-boggling. For example, the 3 pyramids at Giza are almost perfectly aligned with true north. If we imagine a line going from the North Pole all the way down through the center of the Earth and out the other side, that would be true north, and the deviation of each of the 3 pyramids from this line is less than 4 minutes. In fact, the deviation of the middle pyramid, the biggest one, is only 3 minutes, which is more precise than many modern skyscrapers. So when you consider that the Great Pyramid was built over 4,500 years ago, and that it's more precisely aligned with true north than many modern buildings, you have to ask yourself, how did they do it? Was it by chance or intentional design? In today's video, I want to discuss some of the incredible mathematical properties of the pyramids, including their proportions, their angles, and their connection to the stars. As we look at these, I want you to keep in mind that the builders of the pyramids lived around 2500 BC. Keep in mind that the entire body of mathematical knowledge that we currently have took thousands of years to develop. Yet these builders used many of the same principles that we use today to calculate area, volume, and proportions. Let's start with the base of the pyramid. The base of the Great Pyramid is a square that is 756 feet on each side. Now, if we multiply the length of one side times itself, but what is even more amazing is that if we divide the area of the base of the pyramid by the volume of the pyramid, we get pi. Pi is an irrational number that goes on forever without repeating. We use pi in countless math formulas, but what's really amazing is that the builders of the pyramids knew its value. They calculated it to be 3.168. That's accurate too for decimal places. Today, we typically use 3.14159, so they were off by only 2%. But remember, this is 4,500 years old, and they didn't have a calculator. Let's now focus on the angles of the pyramid. The 3 sides of the base of the pyramid meet up at 90-degree angles, but the sides of the pyramid meet up at slightly steeper angles, called the slope angle. The slope angle of the Great Pyramid is 51 degrees, 51 minutes, and 14 seconds. What's amazing about this angle is that if we take the sine of this angle, we get 0.8, or 80%. The sine of an angle is the ratio of the side opposite the angle divided by the hypotenuse. This means that if we draw a line perpendicular to one of the sides of the pyramid from the top of the pyramid, 80% of that line will fall within the base of the pyramid. But what's even more interesting is that if we take the cosine of the slope angle, we get 0.6. Or 60. The cosine of an angle is the ratio of the side adjacent to the angle divided by the hypotenuse. So if we take the adjacent side of the Great Pyramid and divide it by the height of the pyramid, we get 0.6. Or 60. This is why the height of the Great Pyramid is often referred to as the 60% height. Now, if we take the cotangent of the slope angle, we get 1.618. You might recognize this number because it's known as the golden ratio. The golden ratio is found throughout nature, and it's often used in art and architecture to determine the most aesthetically pleasing proportions. Interestingly, if we add the sine of the slope angle to the cosine of the slope angle, we get 1.414, or the square root of 2. So far, everything that we've talked about could be explained by chance. Even though the odds of getting all of this by chance are astronomically small, it could happen. However, we're just getting started. The next fact I'm about to tell you is extremely difficult to explain away. If we measure the Great Pyramid in cubits, where 1 cubit equals 20.24 inches, we find that the perimeter of the base of the pyramid is exactly 7 cubits nt. Height of the pyramid is exactly 10 cubits. Now, remember, a cubit isn't just any random unit. A cubit is based off the actual length of the human body. It's the length from the armpit to the fingertips. So if we take 7 cubits and multiply it by 20.24 inches, we get 141.68 inches. If we take 10 cubits and multiply it by 20.24 inches, we get 202.4 inches. Now, 141.68 inches is approximately equal to 3.6 meters, and 202.4 inches is equal to 5.15 meters. Now, let's take the atomic weight of hydrogen, which is 1.008. And let's multiply that by 3, says meters, which gives us 3.64 meters. Let's now take the atomic weight of helium, which is 4.003, and multiply it by 5.15 meters, which gives us 20.6 meters. When we round both of these numbers to the nearest meter, we get 4 and 21 meters. These are the approximate atomic weights of the two most abundant elements in the universe. Everything else in the universe is trace amounts compared to hydrogen and helium. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of coincidences, but it gets even crazier. If we take the atomic weight of carbon, which is 12.011, and multiply that by 3.6 meters, we get 43.2 meters. And if we take the atomic weight of oxygen, which is 15.999, and multiply that by 5.15 meters, we get 83.09 meters. Again, rounding to the nearest meter, we get 43 and 83 meters. These are the approximate atomic weights of the two most abundant elements on the surface of the Earth. What is truly amazing is that every single one of these measurements can be found on the Great Pyramid. To get the approximate atomic weight of hydrogen on the Great Pyramid, we need to go 3.6 meters up the pyramid. To get the approximate atomic weight of helium, we need to go 20.6 meters up the pyramid. To get the approximate atomic weight of carbon, we need to go 43 meters up the pyramid. And to get the approximate atomic weight of oxygen, we need to go 83 meters up the pyramid. So this isn't just some abstract math problem. These are physical distances that can actually be measured on the Great Pyramid. How could ancient Egyptians have known these values? How could they have possibly known the exact slope angle of the pyramid to 4 decimal places? How could they have known the atomic weights of various elements? Did they accidentally guess the perfect angle for the pyramids? Did they accidentally guess the atomic weights of various elements? I don't think so. Instead, I believe that someone intentionally designed a pyramid with these mathematical constants. Someone who knew the atomic weights of various elements. Someone who knew the value of pi2 for decimal places. Someone who knew the golden ratio. Someone who understood trigonometry and geometry to a level that we only currently attribute to people who lived hundreds of years ago. I believe that the pyramids were designed by a civilization that had access to knowledge that we currently do not have. A civilization that may have been visited by extraterrestrials. A civilization that may have been visited by people from the future. A civilization that may have been visited by people from another dimension. There's simply no way that this could have been done by chance. There is simply no way that a culture with the math ability of ancient Egyptians could have come up with these measurements. Instead, I believe that the builders of the pyramids had access to technology and information that we do not currently have access to. Technology and information that may have been given to them by a higher intelligence. Now, unfortunately, most of the world will reject what I'm saying. They'll say that I am making stuff up, and that there are simple explanations for everything that I presented. But that's okay. I'm not trying to convince you. All I ask is that you keep an open mind and that you consider the possibility that the pyramids were built by a higher intelligence. I'm the host of this channel. Remember to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And remember, the truth is out there. The Great Pyramid of Giza is old. It's been around for over 4,500 years. Which means most of human history has happened after it was built. But what if some of human history happened before it? What if the Egyptians who built the pyramids didn't just build these giant stone tombs for pharaohs, but also built them to reach out to the cosmos and leave a message in a bottle for the stars? Let us dive into part 4 of our series, where we explored the fascinating theory that the pyramids mirrored Orion's belt. The 3 pyramids at Giza were once part of a larger complex that would have been visible from miles around. The 3 pyramids, along with several smaller pyramids, were once surrounded by a wall and served as a burial ground for many important people in Egyptian society. Over time, though, much of the complex has been destroyed, leaving us with just a smattering of the original structures still standing. The idea that the 3 pyramids at Giza mimicked the 3 stars in Orion's belt was first proposed more than 100 years ago. However, the discovery of other celestial alignments has led some to believe there may be more to the story. One of the most intriguing aspects of the pyramids is that they were built with such precision that they align almost perfectly with certain stars in the sky. This includes not only the 3 pyramids at Giza, but also other pyramids across Egypt. Some believe that these alignments are nothing more than coincidence, while others think they indicate that the ancient Egyptians had a deep understanding of astronomy and used the stars to help them plan their construction projects. Proponents of this theory point to the fact that the pyramids are aligned with several other prominent stars and constellations, including those found in the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, and even the Southern Cross. They argue that this couldn't have been a coincidence and must have been done intentionally. But if the Egyptians were looking up to the stars when they built the pyramids, what was their purpose in doing so? Why would they take the time to align their monumental structures with constellations in the night sky? One possibility is that the Egyptians believed that the stars had some kind of influence over their lives. In fact, many ancient cultures around the world believed that the stars could affect everything from their daily activities to their long-term destiny. For example, some cultures believed that the stars could determine a person's personality or even their future spouse. Others believed that the stars could control the weather or bring good fortune to those who lived in alignment with them. If the Egyptians believed that the stars could influence their lives in some way, it makes sense that they would want to build their most important structures in a way that honored the cosmos. Another possibility is that the Egyptians saw the stars as a way to connect with the gods. To the ancient Egyptians, the gods were all powerful and beyond human comprehension. They believed that the gods lived in a realm far beyond their own, in the sky above them. The pyramids were built as tombs for the pharaohs, who were considered divine rulers on earth. By aligning the pyramids with the stars, the Egyptians may have been trying to create a connection between the earthly realm and the heavens above. They may have believed that by doing so, they could honor the gods and ensure that the pharaohs would be able to reach them in the afterlife. So why do some people believe that the pyramids were built to send a message to the stars? The idea that the pyramids were built to send a message to the stars is an intriguing one that has captured the attention of many researchers and theorists over the years. But why would the Egyptians want to do this? What kind of message could they have possibly been sending into the vastness of space? Well, some believe that the Egyptians were trying to communicate with extraterrestrial life. This may sound far-fetched, but it's important to remember that the ancient Egyptians were incredibly advanced for their time. They had developed a sophisticated understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering, and they were among the first humans to venture into space. It is not impossible that they could have had the knowledge and technology necessary to make contact with aliens. If the Egyptians did believe in extraterrestrial life, they may have seen the pyramids as a way to reach out and establish contact. They could have hoped that an advanced alien civilization would be able to decipher the message they left behind and come to Earth to visit them. The Egyptians may have even believed that the stars themselves were a form of communication from the gods. If this is true, then the pyramids may have been built as a way to receive messages from the gods rather than send them. This idea is supported by the fact that the pyramids are aligned with some of the most important stars in the sky, such as those found in the Big Dipper and the Southern Cross. These stars may have been seen as a kind of celestial language that the Egyptians were able to understand. However, there is another, perhaps more likely explanation for why the Egyptians aligned the pyramids with the stars. The Egyptians weren't the only ancient culture to do this. Many other civilizations around the world, such as the Mayans, also built structures that were aligned with the stars. Some researchers believe that this was done simply because the Egyptians and other ancient cultures were fascinated by the stars and wanted to learn more about them. Astronomy was an important part of Egyptian culture, and they kept careful records of the movements of the stars and planets. They used this knowledge to develop a sophisticated calendar system and to predict important events, such as the annual flooding of the Nile River. It is possible that they aligned the pyramids with the stars as a way to further their understanding of the cosmos, and not necessarily to send a message into space. Now let us move on to the next part of the video where we discuss whether the pyramids were built as a message to the stars, or as a map leading to something even greater. So what do you think? Were the pyramids built as a message to the stars, or as a map leading to something even greater? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. In conclusion, the idea that the pyramids were built to mirror Orion's belt is a fascinating one that has captured the imaginations of many people over the years. While it's impossible to say for sure why the Egyptians aligned the pyramids with the stars, there are several possible explanations. It's possible that they did it to honor the gods, to connect with the afterlife, to learn more about the stars, or to send a message into space. Regardless of their motivation, the pyramids remain an impressive feat of engineering and a reminder of the ancient Egyptians' advanced understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and construction techniques. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the pyramids, we may uncover even more secrets about their construction and purpose. One thing is for sure, though. The alignment of the pyramids with the stars is a testament to the ingenuity and curiosity of the human mind. The ancient Egyptians were truly a remarkable civilization, and their legacy continues to amaze us today. The Orion correlation theory proposed by Robert Balval is an interesting idea that the ancient Egyptians built the pyramids to match the constellation of Orion. But what if there's more to it than meets the eye? What if the pyramids were actually built as a map pointing to something greater? Enter Graham Hancock in his theory that the pyramids are aligned with the star Sirius, and that they mark the entrance to a lost civilization. Hancock believes that there is evidence of a much older and more advanced culture that existed in Africa before the Egyptians, and that this culture was wiped out by a cataclysmic event. He claims that the pyramids were built to commemorate this lost civilization, and that they point to the location of its ruins. To support his theory, Hancock points to the fact that the Great Pyramid of Giza aligns almost perfectly with the star Sirius, which is the brightest star in the night sky. He also notes that the other two pyramids at Giza seem to align with the two stars that form Orion's belt. If Hancock's theory is correct, then it would suggest that the Egyptians had a much deeper understanding of astronomy than previously thought. They would have needed to have observed the night sky very carefully in order to make such precise alignments. It would also suggest that the Egyptians were not just building tombs for pharaohs, but were also trying to preserve the memory of a lost civilization. However, Hancock's theory is highly controversial and has been rejected by mainstream archaeologists. They argue that there is no evidence of a lost civilization in Africa, and that the alignments with the stars are nothing more than coincidence. Despite the controversy, Hancock's ideas have captured the imagination of many people around the world. His supporters believe that he is onto something, and that the pyramids are hiding secrets that are waiting to be uncovered. Whether or not Hancock's theory is correct, it is clear that the Pyramids of Giza are much more than just tombs. They are a reminder of the incredible achievements of the ancient Egyptians and a testament to the human desire to understand the cosmos. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the pyramids, we may never know for sure why they were built, or what they really represent. But one thing is certain: they will continue to fascinate us for generations to come. We hope you enjoyed learning more about the fascinating theory that the pyramids were built to mirror Orion's belt. If you want to learn more about the ancient Egyptians and their mysterious pyramids, be sure to check out our other videos on the topic. We have videos on the untold stories behind the construction of the pyramids, as well as videos exploring the many secrets and mysteries they hold. So, what are you waiting for? Click now and start exploring the secrets of the pyramids. We all know about the Great Pyramid's inner chambers, where mummies of high priests and untold riches have been found. But what about the areas that haven't been explored? What if there are other secret places inside the pyramid that are hiding things that we were never meant to see? Have these places remained untouched for thousands of years because they were forgotten, or is there something more sinister at play? Welcome to my channel, and today, let's find out what mysteries lie in wait within the hidden chambers of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Part 5. In recent years, advanced scanning technology has allowed researchers to peer deep into the heart of the Great Pyramid, without having to risk their lives by physically entering the structure. The results have been fascinating, revealing previously unknown voids and passageways within the ancient monument. But as exciting as these discoveries are, they also raise new questions about what else might be hidden from view. Could there be entire chambers concealed within the pyramid's dense network of tunnels and shafts? What if these chambers contain artifacts or knowledge that the ancient Egyptians intentionally left hidden from prying eyes? Or perhaps they hold the key to unlocking the many mysteries that still surround these magnificent structures. If you love hearing all about the hidden secrets of the Great Pyramid, then be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. As one of the world's most iconic landmarks, the Great Pyramid of Giza has fascinated people for centuries. But despite all the research and exploration that has gone into understanding this ancient structure, there is still much that we don't know about it. In recent years, new technologies have allowed us to see inside the pyramid, without actually having to dig through thousands of tons of stonework. With these non-invasive techniques, researchers have discovered some truly amazing things, such as secret chambers and passages that were never before known to exist. These findings suggest that the pyramid may still be hiding many secrets, and that there could be more to discover if we are willing to look hard enough. One of the most intriguing aspects of these newly discovered voids is their location within the pyramid. They are situated in areas that were not accessible to the general public, and had remained hidden for thousands of years, until now. This raises questions about why the Egyptians would have built these chambers, and what they may have been used for. Were they simply a part of the pyramid's original design, or do they represent a more deliberate attempt to conceal certain areas from view? The lack of answers only adds to the mystery surrounding these chambers, and makes them all the more fascinating. Another interesting thing about these voids is their size and shape. Some are small and narrow, while others are surprisingly large and well-proportioned. This suggests that they may have been created with a specific purpose in mind, rather than just being accidental voids. During construction, it's possible that the Egyptians used them for ceremonial purposes, or as hiding places for valuable artifacts. However, without further evidence, we can only speculate on their true function. Despite the many theories and debates surrounding the purpose of these voids, one thing is clear. They offer an exciting glimpse into the inner workings of one of the world's most famous monuments. As researchers continue to explore and analyze these chambers, we may learn more about how the Egyptians constructed such an impressive structure and uncover other secrets that have been lost to time. The discovery of these voids has opened up a whole new world of possibilities. When it comes to understanding the Great Pyramid, it's possible that there are even more hidden chambers waiting to be found, each containing its own unique treasures or insights into the past. Who knows what other secrets the Egyptians left behind in these ancient structures? The Egyptian pyramids are a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the ancient Egyptians. These massive structures have stood the test of time, surviving for thousands of years and continuing to fascinate people from all over the world. The precision with which they were built and the complexity of their design are truly remarkable. But what if there's more to these pyramids than meets the eye? What if they're hiding secrets that we're only just beginning to uncover? In recent years, new technologies have allowed us to look inside the pyramids in ways that were never before possible, and what we've found is truly incredible. For example, we now know that the Great Pyramid of Giza contains several secret chambers that were never discovered by the ancient Egyptians themselves. These chambers are hidden behind false walls and are only accessible through a series of secret passages. One of these chambers was discovered in 2017 and is located near the base of the pyramid. It's thought that this chamber may have been used as a burial chamber, but so far, no mummies or other artifacts have been found inside. Another chamber was discovered in 2020 and is located high up in the pyramid near the top. This chamber is even more mysterious as there is no evidence that it was ever used or even finished. It's possible that it was used for religious ceremonies or as an observation deck, but we really don't know. These secret chambers are just the tip of the iceberg. There are many other anomalies and strange features of the pyramids that suggest that they are hiding secrets from us. For example, there are strange air shafts that lead from deep inside the pyramids to the outside world. These shafts are too small for humans to crawl through, but it has thought that they may have been used for ventilation or to allow for the passage of spirits. There are also several tunnels and passageways that connect the different chambers and rooms inside the pyramids. Some of these tunnels are quite narrow, suggesting that they were only used for transporting objects, but others are much larger and may have been used as walkways or even roads. But perhaps the most intriguing feature of the pyramids is the fact that they seem to be perfectly aligned with the stars. The 3 pyramids at Giza are aligned almost exactly with the constellation of Orion, which is thought to be no coincidence. In fact, many believe that the pyramids were built as tombs for the pharaohs who ruled over Egypt at the time, and the alignment with Orion was intentional to represent the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. There are many other theories about the pyramids that suggest they're hiding secrets from us. Some believe that they were actually built as giant power plants that harnessed the power of the earth and the stars. Others believe that they were used as giant computers to store and process vast amounts of data. And some believe that they were built as communication towers that allowed the ancient Egyptians to communicate with other civilizations across the globe. While there's no evidence to support these theories, they're certainly intriguing and provide an alternative perspective on these ancient structures. Despite all the secrets the pyramids are hiding, we've managed to learn a lot about them over the years. We know that they were built over a period of several decades, and that they required the labor of thousands of workers. We also know that they were built as tombs for the pharaohs, and that they were designed to protect their bodies and their wealth for eternity. But as we continue to explore and learn more about the pyramids, it's clear that there's still much that we don't know, and that there are secrets buried deep within their walls. Perhaps one day we will uncover even more about these amazing structures and the secrets they hold. But for now, we can marvel at what we have already discovered and wonder what other mysteries the pyramids are hiding. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, be sure to check out the next part in this series. And thanks for watching. The Great Pyramid of Giza is over 400 feet tall, contains over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, and has interior chambers and passages which we are only just discovering. It was made using copper tools in the hot Egyptian desert over 4,000 years ago. How on earth did they do it? We may never know, for sure. But one thing's for certain, this was no easy feat. And given how massive and precise this structure is, it begs the question: could the Egyptians have built the pyramids with primitive tools, or were more advanced methods and perhaps even modern tools used in their construction? Welcome to my channel, and today, let's look at the most mind-blowing theory, that the Egyptians used advanced technology to build the pyramids. What if we've been looking at the pyramids the wrong way? What if the true story of their construction isn't about brute strength and slave labor, but rather brilliant engineering and advanced technology? The sheer scale and precision of these structures, especially the Great Pyramid, defy easy explanation. Even considering the alleged use of copper chisels and hammers, there are still so many unanswered questions regarding their construction. Some experts argue that the stones themselves couldn't have been moved without sophisticated machinery, while others believe that the accuracy with which these stones were placed indicates the use of tools far more advanced than our current understanding of ancient technology allows. So let's take a step back from the conventional narrative and explore some truly out-there ideas. Some theories suggest that the Egyptians used energy devices powered by things like crystals or magnets to move the stones. This might sound far-fetched, but bear with me. Ancient megalithic sites around the world often exhibit strange magnetic properties. For example, there are reports of compasses going haywire near Stonehenge, and magnetic anomalies have also been found at other pyramid sites. While this isn't direct evidence of the Egyptians using energy devices, it does hint at the possibility that we're missing something when it comes to our understanding of their culture and technology. One intriguing idea is that the Egyptians may have harnessed the Earth's natural magnetic field and energy currents to move the stones. If they had the knowledge and technology to tap into these powerful forces, It would have made moving heavy objects much easier. In fact, some researchers claim that the pyramids themselves were built to align with significant energy vortexes, or ley lines. This would suggest that the Egyptians understood the Earth's energy dynamics on a deeper level than we do now. Again, it's important to stress that these are highly speculative theories. However, dismissing them outright might also be a mistake. We can't be so sure that we haven't already missed crucial clues about ancient Egyptian technology. Lost ancient technology. Another possibility is that the Egyptians used advanced tools made from lost ancient technologies. You see, we tend to think of ancient tools as being relatively simple and basic, but this may not have been the case. It's possible that the Egyptians, along with other ancient cultures, had access to materials and manufacturing techniques that we've yet to discover. For example, there are references in ancient texts to tools made from materials like adama, a nearly indestructible substance that modern science has yet to identify. If such materials really existed and were used in tool-making, it would explain how the Egyptians managed to create such precise cuts in the stones. Furthermore, we must remember that ancient civilizations had access to many materials that are now lost, such as various types of wood that have since become extinct. These materials may have been used to create tools and machines that we can't even imagine. Imagine, for instance, tools made from incredibly strong alloys or composites that were unknown in later periods. These lost technologies could have enabled the Egyptians to cut and move the stones with relative ease. Of course, this is just speculation. But the truth is that our understanding of ancient technology is still very limited. There may be countless examples of advanced tools and machines that have simply been lost to time. Extraterrestrial assistance. Let us discuss the controversial theory that the Egyptians may have received help from extraterrestrials in building the pyramids. While this may sound like a stretch, there are a few intriguing pieces of evidence that lend credence to this idea. For starters, the precision with which the pyramids were built suggests a level of technology beyond what was available to the Egyptians at the time. It is hard to imagine how ancient humans, without the aid of modern equipment, could have achieved such accuracy. Furthermore, the alignment of some of the pyramids with cardinal directions and certain stars in the night sky hints at an understanding of astronomy that was far more advanced than previously thought. Some researchers even believe that the pyramids themselves are tombs for alien visitors who crash-landed in Egypt thousands of years ago. This may sound outlandish, but consider the fact that mainstream archaeologists have only recently discovered the hidden chambers and passages within the pyramids. With so much of Egyptian history still unknown, it's not unreasonable to suggest that there may be evidence of extraterrestrial contact buried alongside the pharaohs. Now, I do not want to spend too much time on this theory, because there is really no concrete evidence to support it. However, we can't completely rule out the possibility that ancient astronauts helped the Egyptians build the pyramids. Advanced techniques. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the pyramid-esque construction is the precision with which each stone was placed. The average deviation of a block from the vertical face of the outer casing of the Great Pyramid is only 1.3 inches, which is truly remarkable, considering the size and weight of some of these stones. Even modern construction projects with advanced technology don't achieve this level of precision. So how did the Egyptians do it? One possible answer lies in the advanced techniques that they may have employed. For example, the Egyptians could have used ramps, levers, and rollers to move and lift the stones. While this might sound like a simple solution, it is important to remember that the Egyptians were ingenious engineers, and they may have used these techniques in combination with other tools and methods that we were not yet aware of. Additionally, the Egyptians likely had a deep understanding of physics and geometry, which they used to calculate the weight distribution and stability of the pyramids as they were being built. This knowledge allowed them to create structures that were not only massive, but also incredibly durable. They managed to build something that has survived for over 4,000 years and continues to amaze us today. Conclusion. There's no denying that the pyramids of Egypt are some of the most impressive structures ever built. Their scale, precision, and durability are a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. But as we continue to explore these magnificent structures, we must keep an open mind about the possibilities. Could the Egyptians have built the pyramids with advanced technology, lost ancient tools, or even with the help of extraterrestrials? We may never know for sure, but these are the kinds of questions that really make you think about the limits of human ingenuity and the mysteries of our past. So what do you think? Are these theories far-fetched, or is there something to them? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, even if we never uncover the full truth behind the pyramids, we can still marvel at these structures and the legacy of the ancient Egyptians. They've captured our imagination for centuries and will continue to do so for many years to come. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll make new discoveries that shed even more light on these incredible structures and the people who built them. Now check out more videos on the channel and leave a comment down below with your ideas for future episodes. Don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching. This is part 7 of our series on ancient Egypt. Click the link above to watch part 6. And remember, at the end of this video, we'll be giving away an awesome prize to one lucky viewer who watches all 8 parts of this series. So make sure you stick around till the end. In part 6, we discussed the possibility that the first pharaohs came from a group of people known as the Hyksos. But there are some people who don't believe this theory, even though it has a lot of evidence supporting it. So in this video, we're going to explore a different origin story for the pharaohs, one that's steeped in myth and mystery. And along the way, we'll learn more about what life was like in ancient Egypt. Ready? Let's dive in. The Great Pyramid of Giza. Just the very mention of this structure evokes a sense of wonder and awe. This massive testament to human ingenuity has stood the test of time, enduring for over 4,500 years and captivating the imagination of countless civilizations. It wasn't until Napoleon's campaigns in Egypt in 1798 that the Western world really took notice of these great structures. But despite its enduring presence on the landscape, much of the Great Pyramid remains shrouded in mystery. What secrets does it hold? What purpose did it serve? And how does it relate to the pharaohs and the gods? For the ancient Egyptians, the answer to these questions was clear. To them, the Great Pyramid, along with other pyramids built across Egypt, were more than just tombs. They were spiritual machines designed to facilitate the journey of the soul to the afterlife. In fact, many scholars believe that the construction of the pyramids themselves may have been inspired by the Egyptians' mythology. You see, the Egyptians believed that their gods descended from the sky and that the pyramids bore witness to this celestial event. To understand this further, let's turn to Egyptian mythology. According to this tradition, the god Horus was pursued relentlessly by his evil uncle Set, forcing him to flee for refuge to the sky. There he would have been safe from Set's clutches, if not for the latter's nefarious plan to construct 7 great pyramids. These pyramids were not meant to serve as tombs, but as instruments of war. They were designed to capture and imprison Horus, preventing him from ever returning to Earth. However, Horus was too quick for Set, and he managed to escape these deadly traps, finding sanctuary among humans instead. This act of kindness extended to Set as well, who upon reaching the pyramids, realized the error of his ways and abandoned his plans. Instead, he turned to agriculture and became a benevolent force, teaching humanity the ways of farming and domesticating animals. With peace restored, Set and Horus then constructed the pyramids together, honoring their newfound friendship and serving as silent sentinels to the eternal bond between them. So now let's ask ourselves, could this myth have inspired the Egyptians to build their own pyramids? Could they have envisioned these structures as gateways to the afterlife, allowing the souls of the dead to ascend to the heavens? Perhaps most fascinating is the notion that the number of pyramids, 7, might have been directly influenced by the myth. After all, the ancient Egyptians had no way of knowing the true number of pyramids Set planned to build, yet they consistently referred to them in the plural, suggesting that they knew there were 7 and that they played a crucial role in the Egyptian belief system. One of the key aspects of understanding the pyramids is recognizing that they weren't just tombs, but integral parts of the Egyptians' religious practices. Each pyramid held immense spiritual significance, representing a mountain that served as the home of the gods. These majestic structures symbolize the Egyptians' desire to reach the heavens and connect with the divine. The interior chambers and passages were meticulously designed to facilitate the journey of the soul, ensuring its safe passage to the afterlife. The placement of the pyramids themselves was no accident either. They were strategically positioned to align with the cardinal points of the compass, forming a type of celestial map that guided the souls of the dead towards their final destination. But what about the pharaohs? How did they fit into this grand scheme of things? Well, the pharaohs were considered the intermediaries between the gods and the people. They were the ones who could ensure the proper functioning of the spiritual machines and maintain the cosmic order. When a pharaoh died, his soul would embark on a perilous journey through the underworld, where it would face a series of challenges designed to test its worthiness to enter the afterlife. If the soul succeeded in navigating these trials, it would be rewarded with immortality, joining the ranks of the stars in the heavens. The importance of the pyramids in the Egyptians' belief system cannot be overstated. They were not just monumental achievements of engineering and mathematics, but also tangible representations of the Egyptians' deepest spiritual aspirations. The precision with which they were constructed, the alignment with celestial bodies, and the intricate details of their interiors all point to a society deeply concerned with maintaining balance and harmony in the universe. For the ancient Egyptians, the pyramids were more than just structures made of stone. They were pathways to the afterlife, testaments to the power of the gods, and silent witnesses to the eternal struggle between good and evil. Let's now delve deeper into the intriguing concept of the pharaohs and their connection to the gods. Who were the pharaohs, and what was their role in ancient Egyptian society? Pharaoh, derived from the Greek word for house, refers to both the ruler and their dwelling place. Initially, the term pharaoh was used to address the chief of a house or family, but it later evolved to encompass the rulers of all of Egypt. The pharaohs weren't just political leaders. They were also considered divine kings, intermediaries between the gods and the people. They were believed to possess both physical and spiritual power, making them indispensable in maintaining the cosmic order. The first pharaoh is traditionally considered to be who united Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BC. From then on, the title pharaoh passed down through hereditary lines, creating dynasties that ruled over Egypt for centuries. The powers of the pharaoh were vast and varied. They controlled the economy, enforced laws, led armies into battle, and most importantly, maintained the country's religious practices. As divine kings, they were responsible for ensuring that the gods were appeased and that the balance of the universe was kept in check. The pharaohs were also seen as patrons of the arts and architecture, commissioning grand projects such as the pyramids and temples that still stand in awe-inspiring ruins today. It's important to note that the pharaohs' power wasn't absolute. They were often constrained by religious and social norms, as well as the interests of powerful institutions like the priesthood. Nevertheless, the pharaoh remained the ultimate authority in ancient Egypt, wielding both the spiritual and temporal power necessary to maintain the prosperity of their kingdom. As we bring this episode to a close, let us reflect on the profound impact the pharaohs and the pyramids have had on our understanding of ancient Egypt. These iconic structures and the divine kings who commissioned them offer a glimpse into a world that valued spirituality, astronomy, and the pursuit of immortality. The pharaohs' desire to connect with the gods and their obsession with the afterlife led to some of the most spectacular feats of engineering and art in human history. The pyramids continue to fascinate us thousands of years later, serving as a reminder of the boundless curiosity and ingenuity of the human spirit. Next time, join us for part 8 of our series, where we'll continue to uncover the mysteries of ancient Egypt. But before we go, we want to hear from you. What do you think? Were the pyramids simply tombs, spiritual machines, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments below. Do you and T forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos on ancient Egypt and other historical topics? And remember, stay tuned for part 8 of this series. Thank you for watching. It's me. Welcome to part 8 of Ancient Civilizations. Today we're going to be talking about how cultures around the world built pyramids, looking at some that you may not have heard of. We'll also look at other curious connections between distant civilizations. Let's get started. The first stop on our tour of pyramids is the region of Mesopotamia. Now, here you may think I'm referring to the famous Ziggurat-Sevir, but that's not actually a pyramid. It's more like a stepped tower. However, there are quite a few pyramid-like structures found in this region, and none of them appear to be tombs. The oldest of these is the Pyramid of Alu'bed, which dates back to around 2600 BC, so it predates the Egyptian pyramids by more than 2 centuries. But why did they build it? Well, unlike their Egyptian counterparts, Mesopotamian pyramids were built from mud brick, and so would not have been used as tombs, since the interior would just crumble into dust. Rather, it seems they were used for religious purposes, possibly as temples or to store grain. But this isn't the only pyramid located in the region. There are several others scattered throughout what is now Iraq, Kuwait, and Iran, the most famous of which is probably the Pyramid of Chagazanbil, built in Elamite Mesopotamia in the 6th century BC. This is the largest artificial mound in the Middle East. It was once 107 feet high, though much of it has since collapsed. This structure, too, was made of mud brick, and was also likely used as a temple. In fact, each of the pyramids in Mesopotamia that we know of served some sort of religious function. So why do we see such a similar architectural style developing independently in such distant places? And what could it mean for the ancient people who built them? Let's take a trip to Mesoamerica to find out. Located in modern-day Mexico, the Mesoamerican pyramids are perhaps the most famous in the world, at least outside of Egypt. These pyramids are far more impressive than those of Mesopotamia, however, because instead of being built of mud brick, they were constructed of stone. This meant that they could serve both religious and political functions. In fact, many of these pyramids acted as platforms for temples, palaces, or even cities. One of the earliest of these structures is the Pyramid of Lakoya, which dates back to 1500 BC from here. It was around 170 feet tall, and was the tallest structure in the Western Hemisphere for nearly 2,000 years. While these Mesoamerican pyramids are quite different from those of the Fertile Crescent, they still share some similarities. Both were built from locally available materials and were used for religious purposes. However, there are far more differences than similarities, which means that the reason for building pyramids was universal. In other words, it makes sense why these structures would pop up all over the place. However, there is one Mesoamerican pyramid that stands out from the rest. Unlike the others, the Pyramid of Kukulkan, also known as the El Castillo, still survives to this day, almost completely intact, at 246 feet tall. It has the tallest structure in the Yucatan, and one of the most impressive ancient sites in the New World. It was built around 1000 AD by the Maya, and has 9 terraces, each containing 91 steps. Multiply 9x9, and you get 81, which is a sacred number to the Maya, and represents the heavens. This isn't the only numerical quirk of this pyramid. According to researchers, the length of the shadow cast by the pyramid at noon on the spring and fall equinoxes align with the north and south entrances to the structure. This suggests that the builders of Kukulkan possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy. Now, this pyramid was clearly an important structure. But what's most interesting is that it has distant relatives on the other side of the globe. Thousands of miles away in China, the Qi and Han pyramids were built over a span of 500 years starting in the 3rd century BC. Like their Mesoamerican cousins, they were built of stone and were used for burial purposes. Both the first and second emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang and Han Gaozu, were entombed within pyramids. However, despite sharing a common purpose, there are very few similarities between Chinese and Mesoamerican pyramids. They were built in different shapes, sizes, and even orientations. So if these pyramids are so different, how can they be related? Well, it's here where things get really strange, because, according to many scholars, the true shape of the Chinese pyramids was never actually pyramid-like at all. Instead, they were actually made to resemble mountains. Archaeologists who study Chinese culture are hesitant to call them pyramids, because the term implies that they were built in the shape of a triangle. However, in reality, they were actually square. You see, in Chinese culture, mountains were believed to be the home of the gods, and so they were revered as sacred. By making their tombs look like mountains, the emperors were essentially inviting the gods to come and receive their worship. Okay, let's pause for a second. While we've found similarities between pyramids in Mesopotamia and those in Mesoamerica, as well as between the pyramids of China and Mesoamerica, we've yet to find any similarities between those of Mesopotamia and China. That would be like finding a connection between the Inca and the Celtiberians, or the Hittites and the Indus Valley civilization. The idea that civilizations separated by thousands of miles could influence one another is often dismissed by mainstream archaeologists. After all, how could the Inca possibly have influenced the Celt? Yet here we see a very similar architectural style developing independently in 2 very distant places. So what could explain this phenomenon? Well, here's a thought. What if there existed a global civilization that predated all others? In fact, What if many of the ancient structures we find around the world were built during this time? What if these civilizations weren't as primitive as we're led to believe? If there were remnants of a global ancient civilization hiding in plain sight, then it would change everything we know about history. I don't say this lightly. After all, proponents of this theory are often ridiculed by the mainstream archaeological community. But just think about it. What else could explain these similarities? The idea that people in Mesopotamia, Mesoamerica, and China all came up with the same basic design independently is highly unlikely. It's far more probable that these structures were built as part of a greater tradition, one that spanned continents and stretched back millennia. If this is true, then there must have been some kind of hidden knowledge shared among the builders. They understood that certain shapes and dimensions held spiritual significance, and so incorporated them into their architecture. But this knowledge wasn't written down anywhere. It was passed down orally through stories and legends until it eventually faded from human memory. What we're left with today are the physical remnants of this forgotten tradition. Standing stones, pyramids, and other structures built without the use of mortar, yet which have managed to survive for thousands of years. Through them, we can catch a glimpse of a world that once was. A world inhabited by people who were far more advanced than we give them credit for being. But the truth is, there's no way to prove this theory. Without hard evidence, we can only speculate about what the pyramids and other structures may have originally looked like. Perhaps someday new discoveries will shed light on the mysteries surrounding them. But until then, we're left to wonder about the deeper meaning behind these ancient structures. Were they simply tombs or temples? Or did they hold some deeper, more profound significance? If you think they were merely tombs or temples, then you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. There's far more to these pyramids than meets the eye. They represent a time when humans had a deep connection to the spiritual realm, a time when they understood the true nature of reality and used this understanding to create structures that aligned with the energies of the universe. These structures are not just ancient ruins, they're portals to the past that allow us to connect with the wisdom of our ancestors. When we explore these sites, we're reminded of the power of human ingenuity and the potential that lies within us all. But if you want to go further and discover the hidden knowledge that these structures contain, then you need to awaken your third eye. To do this, watch this video to open your third eye and explore the hidden dimensions of reality. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye. In today's episode, we are going to talk about Part 9, Forbidden Theories. The Great Pyramids of Giza, the enigmatic relics of a bygone era, have captivated the human imagination for millennia. What secrets do these ancient structures hold? Could they be more than just tombs of pharaohs? Are there forbidden theories that challenge conventional history? Were the pyramids power plants transmitting energy across the land? Did a lost advanced civilization predating Egypt itself leave behind these enigmatic structures? And why is mainstream academia so eager to suppress these ideas? Join me as I delve into the world of forbidden theories surrounding the pyramids and uncover the shocking truth that could rewrite history as we know it. Prepare to have your mind blown as we explore the shocking revelations that will change the way you see the pyramids forever. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's get right into it. For centuries, Egyptologists have dismissed any notion that the Egyptians possessed advanced technology or that the pyramids served as power plants. This perspective is deeply ingrained in the minds of those who refuse to question the status quo. However, alternative theories propose that the pyramids may have been much more than just tombs. Some believe that the pyramids were constructed by an advanced, lost civilization that predated Egypt. This idea is supported by the discovery of artifacts and evidence of sophisticated engineering techniques that challenge the traditional narrative of Egyptian history. These findings suggest that the Egyptians may have inherited the pyramids from a previous culture with a deep understanding of mathematics and astronomy. It is important to acknowledge that alternative theories regarding the pyramids often face resistance from mainstream academia due to the potential disruption they could cause to established historical narratives and beliefs. Some scholars may cling tightly to conventional theories out of fear of being ridiculed or ostracized by their peers. However, it is crucial to approach this topic with an open mind and consider the possibility that our current understanding of ancient civilizations may be incomplete or inaccurate. The suppression of alternative theories can lead to intellectual stagnation and hinder our ability to comprehend the true extent of ancient human ingenuity. Consider the fact that modern conveniences like electricity and plumbing were once considered revolutionary and even radical ideas. Similarly, the concept of an advanced prehistoric civilization may seem outlandish to some, but it should not be dismissed outright. Mainstream academia has a responsibility to thoroughly examine all available evidence and consider alternative theories before reaching conclusions. By suppressing dissenting opinions and resorting to ad hominem attacks, the academic community risks perpetuating a false narrative that limits our understanding of the past. We must challenge the status quo and demand a deeper, more comprehensive investigation into the origins and purpose of the pyramids. Only then can we hope to uncover the truth behind these enigmatic structures and the advanced civilizations that created them. Join me in this crusade for knowledge and understanding. Support my work by liking this video. Together, we can break free from the shackles of ignorance and shed light on the hidden history of our world. As we continue to explore the shocking revelations surrounding the pyramids, it is essential to recognize the lengths to which some will go to suppress the truth. Powerful forces are at play, determined to keep certain theories and discoveries hidden from public view. One intriguing theory suggests that the pyramids themselves were designed as giant batteries, harnessing the power of the sun and earth to generate electricity. This idea is supported by the pyramid's internal structure, which resembles the components of a modern battery. However, mainstream Egyptologists have vehemently rejected this theory, labeling it as unfounded and unscientific. They cling to the traditional narrative that the pyramids were merely burial sites for pharaohs, despite the lack of concrete evidence to support this claim. Moreover, there is evidence to suggest that the Great Pyramid of Giza was deliberately buried under a layer of sand, intentionally concealing its true purpose from modern eyes. This deliberate act of concealment raises questions about who would have benefited from hiding such knowledge and why. It is possible that those who constructed the pyramids wanted to keep their advanced technology secret to prevent it from being exploited or misused by others. The discovery of ancient artifacts such as copper plates with strange symbols and markings further adds to the mystery. These artifacts suggest the existence of a highly advanced civilization with knowledge far beyond our own. Mainstream academia tends to dismiss such discoveries as nothing more than curious relics of the past, failing to recognize their true significance. The deliberate suppression of alternative theories and evidence has led to a distorted understanding of history. Those who dare to question the status quo and propose new theories are often ridiculed and ostracized by their peers. The academic community seems content with perpetuating a false narrative rather than seeking the truth. But the quest for knowledge should not be hindered by fear or the desire to conform. We must embrace the unknown and explore alternative perspectives. If we are to truly understand the mysteries of the past, to break free from the chains of ignorance and uncover the hidden truths that lie within the pyramids, we must remain open-minded and critical of conventional theories. Only then can we begin to understand the true purpose of these enigmatic structures and the advanced civilizations that created them. Egyptologists have long held that the pyramids were built as tombs for pharaohs. But what evidence do they have to support this claim? The discovery of the Sphinx with its enigmatic smile seems to suggest otherwise. The Sphinx, with its body of a lion and the head of a human, is a testament to the advanced understanding of mathematics and engineering possessed by the ancient builders. Its dimensions and proportions align with sacred geometry, indicating a deep knowledge of cosmological principles. The Sphinx's alleged smile, often perceived as a sinister grin, could actually be a symbol of enlightenment and wisdom. Mainstream interpretations have attempted to explain away the smile as nothing more than a weathered feature caused by erosion. However, this explanation fails to account for the precision and symmetry of the markings on the Sphinx's face. These markings, when properly aligned, reveal a profound understanding of astronomy and the celestial bodies that govern our universe. The discovery of a small hole near the Sphinx's left ear adds to the enigma, suggesting a possible connection to sound and acoustics. Alternative theories propose that the Sphinx may have been a sonic receiver or transmitter, capable of communicating with advanced extraterrestrial beings. This idea is supported by the alignment of the Sphinx with the constellation of Orion, indicating a possible connection to extraterrestrial cultures. The suppression of these alternative theories stems from the deeply ingrained belief in conventional Egyptology. Scholars cling to the traditional narrative that the pyramids were tombs for pharaohs, despite the lack of concrete evidence. However, the discovery of the Sphinx with its astronomical alignments, geometric proportions, and mysterious smile challenges this conventional view. We must question the validity of long-held beliefs and be open to exploring alternative theories. If we are to truly understand the mysteries of the past, the suppression of alternative theories allows for the perpetuation of false narratives and prevents us from comprehending the true purpose and significance of ancient structures like the pyramids. It is time to break free from the shackles of ignorance and embrace the unknown. By doing so, we may unlock the secrets of our ancient past and gain a deeper understanding of the advanced civilizations that once walked the earth. The idea that the pyramids were built by aliens is often seen as a fringe theory, but it has gained traction among some proponents of this theory point to the precise astronomical alignments of the pyramids, suggesting a connection to extraterrestrial knowledge and technology. However, the vast majority of mainstream Egyptologists dismiss this theory as unfounded and unscientific. They argue that there is no concrete evidence to support the notion of alien involvement in the construction of the pyramids. Instead, they adhered to the traditional narrative that the pyramids were built by human hands alone. This resistance to alternative theories can be attributed to the deeply ingrained skepticism within the academic community towards anything that challenges conventional Egyptology. Scholars tend to cling to established beliefs and reject any new ideas that may disrupt the status quo. However, the suppression of alternative theories prevents us from exploring all possible explanations and may lead to a distorted understanding of history. While there is no concrete evidence to prove or disprove the theory that aliens built the pyramids, it should not be dismissed outright. Mainstream Egyptologists often resort to ridicule and ad hominem attacks when faced with alternative theories, creating an environment of fear and discouraging open discussions. This attitude hinders the progress of historical research and prevents us from comprehending the full scope of human ingenuity and potential. Embracing the unknown and considering all possibilities, including the potential for extraterrestrial influence, may lead to a more accurate and complete understanding of the pyramids and their construction. By challenging conventional theories and demanding a deeper analysis of the evidence, we can pave the way for new discoveries and a more accurate portrayal of history. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and share it with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. The wind whispers through the tall grass, rustling stories of centuries past. Overhead, the relentless sun beats down on the endless expanse of the Egyptian desert, and in the distance, standing resolute against the relentless march of time, are the Pyramids of Giza. Silent sentinels guarding secrets that have remained hidden for thousands of years. For over 4,500 years, these colossal structures have endured, their immense presence dominating the skyline and capturing the imagination of mankind. As we approach the Great Pyramid of Giza, the largest and most enigmatic of the three, we can't help but be humbled by its sheer magnitude. Humanity has come a long way since the days when these pyramids were built, yet we still stand in awe of these ancient engineering marvels. But there is more to the pyramids than meets the eye. Hidden within their massive stone bodies lie secrets that have been waiting for centuries to be discovered. In this journey, we will delve deep into the mysteries of the pyramids, exploring the theories that have both fascinated and divided experts, and uncovering the secrets that have made them one of the most enigmatic structures in human history. It's me. Welcome to part 10 of Aura Cities. Let's get started. Hidden within the Great Pyramid lies a secret so profound that it has the potential to change our understanding of human history forever. A discovery that could rewrite the very fabric of our past and leave us questioning everything we once believed. Professor Sadef Kabas, a renowned expert in Egyptology, has dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the ancient world. But even he never could have anticipated the revelation that awaited him inside the heart of the Great Pyramid. With unwavering determination, Professor Kassim and his team began the arduous task of excavating the pyramid's depths. As the dust settled and the debris was cleared, they found themselves in a subterranean chamber like no other. Here, amidst the darkness, they uncovered a series of hieroglyphics, a language of symbols that had remained hidden from modern eyes for millennia. The inscriptions covered every available surface, weaving a narrative that promised to unlock the pyramid's deepest secrets. But as the professor deciphered the ancient script, he realized that what he was reading was not a historical record, but rather a set of instructions, a guide to navigating the hidden passages and chambers that lay dormant within the pyramid's colossal structure. According to Egyptian mythology, the Great Pyramid was not merely a tomb, but a celestial gateway, a conduit between the earthly realm and the spiritual heavens. It was believed that within its depths lay a portal, a vortex of cosmic energy that could transport the soul to the afterlife. But the true purpose of this secret chamber and its celestial gateway remains shrouded in mystery. What secrets did the ancient builders intend to safeguard here? And what cosmic truths did they hope to preserve for future generations? The discovery of this secret chamber and its cryptic hieroglyphics has opened up a Pandora's box of possibilities, each more intriguing than the last. Some believe that the pyramid itself is a key to unlocking the universe's deepest mysteries, while others see it as a warning from our ancestors about the dangers of unchecked ambition. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The Great Pyramid holds secrets that could change our understanding of the universe forever. However, as the world marveled at this groundbreaking discovery, a shadow of controversy loomed on the horizon. A group of skeptics emerged, challenging the very essence of this monumental find. They questioned the authenticity of the inscription, suggesting that they were nothing more than a clever hoax. These skeptics argued that the hieroglyphics were modern forgeries, planted within the pyramid to deceive and mislead. Their doubts cast a pall over the excitement, leaving many to wonder about the true nature of the discovery. Could it be that after all these years of searching, we had found nothing but cleverly crafted lies? Or was there a deeper truth hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? Professor Kasim, however, was not one to back down in the face of adversity. Stood firm, defending his discovery with unwavering conviction. He argued that the inscriptions were indeed authentic, each stroke of the chisel echoing with the voices of the ancient builders. But as the debate raged on, it became clear that the skeptics had raised valid points. The evidence, while compelling, was far from conclusive. The truth, it seemed, lay somewhere in the shadows, elusive and tantalizingly out of reach. In the midst of this turmoil, a new voice emerged, a fresh perspective that could turn the tide of the debate. Enter Dr. Layla Hassan, a rising star in the field of Egyptology. With an inquisitive mind and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, Dr. Hassan approached the mystery with a unique blend of skepticism and wonder. She delved deep into the historical records, poring over ancient texts and archaeological findings to search for answers. Her quest led her to long-forgotten scrolls and dusty tomes, piecing together fragments of information that hinted at the pyramid's true nature. As she delved deeper into her research, a startling pattern began to emerge. The skeptics, she discovered, were not entirely without merit. There were, in fact, discrepancies in the hieroglyphics, subtle inconsistencies that suggested a more complex narrative. But rather than disproving the inscriptions, these inconsistencies pointed towards a much more intriguing possibility. The hieroglyphics, Dr. Hassan realized, were not a straightforward account of the pyramid's construction or its celestial purpose. They were a coded message, a cryptic puzzle that held the key to the pyramid's deepest secrets. This realization sent shockwaves through the academic community. The very foundations of Egyptology were being challenged, and the race was on to decipher the coded message embedded within the pyramid's walls. With the stakes higher than ever, the world watched with bated breath as scholars, cryptographers, and historians raced against time to crack the code. The implications were staggering. If successful, they would not only unlock the secrets of the Great Pyramid, but also gain insight into the enigmatic world of the ancient Egyptians. As the pressure mounted, the brilliant minds of the world united in a common purpose. They gathered at the foot of the Great Pyramid, their collective determination echoing the tenacity of the ancient builders who erected this enduring monument. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the deciphering process proved to be more challenging than first anticipated. The coded message, it seemed, was shrouded in layers of complexity, each one more intricate than the last. Yet the pursuit of knowledge is a relentless endeavor, and the scholars were not deterred. They toiled tirelessly, their dedication unwavering in the face of adversity. And then, in a moment of pure brilliance, the breakthrough came. The coded message began to unravel before their awestruck eyes, revealing a narrative both fascinating and perplexing. The pyramid, they discovered, was indeed a celestial gateway, a nexus of cosmic energy, but its purpose extended far beyond the realm of the afterlife. The inscription spoke of a time when the Earth's energy would align with the cosmos, giving rise to a period of enlightenment and transformation. This was no mere burial chamber. It was a testament to the ancient Egyptians' profound understanding of the universe. They had unlocked the secrets of the cosmos, discovering the delicate balance that connected Earth to the heavens. As the final pieces of the puzzle fell into place, a sense of wonder filled the hearts of those who had dedicated their lives to unraveling the Pyramid-esque mysteries. But as the world celebrated this momentous achievement, a chill wind swept across the desert sands, carrying with it a whisper of unease. For the ancient Egyptians' wisdom had also warned of a time when this celestial alignment would be disrupted, plunging the world into chaos and darkness. The question now was, were they witnessing the dawn of a new age, or the prelude to an impending doom? We don't know. We may never know. The pyramids stand as timeless guardians of a bygone era, their secrets whispered on the winds of time. The Great Pyramid, with its enigmatic smile, beckons us to explore the depths of its mysteries. However, it is up to us whether we choose to listen to the echoes of the past or allow them to fade into oblivion. The pyramids have witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations. The shifting sands of time have buried countless secrets beneath their colossal forms, and yet they endure, silent sentinels of a forgotten age. If you've enjoyed this journey, if you want more journeys into the mysteries of history, subscribe to Umbri and join us as we unravel the forgotten truths of our world. Thank you for watching, and remember, the past is never truly gone. It's always there, waiting to be discovered.